What is going on, guys? We got 3 family law related stories that are big in the news right now. 2 of them out of the state of California. I'm Mark Reel, the father's rights attorney, and today we are going to talk about Conor McGregor, Kevin Costner and his divorce, and punt god Matt Araiza and where his case stands down in San Diego. So we'll start off with McGregor. So a little background here. Conor McGregor attended Game 4 of the NBA Finals in Miami, Florida. Now, shortly after the game, a woman alleged that McGregor led her into a restroom and forcibly tried to get her to give him oral sex. Now, video has come out, it's on TMZ, it's all over the web of what appears to be her willfully going into the restroom. Now, we know that is not enough to be consent, but there are photographs less than a half hour later of McGregor and the alleged victim taking a selfie together. So there's a lot of questions. Attorney for the woman is alleging that the NBA offered $100,000 to make the allegations go away. So there's a lot going on in this case. It's interesting. I would just say the optics from the outside, you see the individual willingly going in to the restroom and then taking a selfie less than a half hour later. That, at least on the criminal front, I don't think Conor McGregor has much to worry about. Now, civil, where the burden of proof is preponderance of the evidence, that would be the method and mechanism with which the woman would pursue. And I think she would probably have an uphill case with the facts we have right now. There's always other things that can come out. Now, on to story number 2. Kevin Costner and his soon-to-be ex-wife have started what appears to be or is going to be a very acrimonious divorce process here in the state of California. Now, the first issue is there's allegedly a prenup, and in the prenup it states that if Costner's wife files for divorce, she must leave the family home. And apparently, at this point in time, she is refusing to do so. How can she get away with that in the state of California? Well, Kevin Costner is going to have to go into court and prove that the prenup is valid. I'm going to take a guess and say, based on how long Kevin Costner has been extremely wealthy and famous, that the prenup was probably designed to protect him and his wealth. And so there's probably going to be a challenge to a lot of points in this prenup as to if they are valid. So Mr. Costner is going to have to go into court, prove the prenup's valid, and then take appropriate action if it's found to be valid to gain control of his property. Now, we have a lot of men who obviously are not of the means of Mr. Costner, who allegedly made about $20 million last year. And there are definitely times where we actually tell men who potentially have a rightful cause to kick their soon-to-be ex-wife out of the house to allow her to stay. So there are some strategic things. I think given that the fact there's a prenup involved, there's probably a set amount of spousal support, and there's probably some rules around property distribution that they agreed to prior to marriage. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, the bigger story is around child support. So allegedly, his soon-to-be ex-wife is asking for about $250,000 in child support payments on a monthly basis. And Mr. Costner has offered her $38,000 a month. Now, based on the numbers we've seen, about $20 million to her not working, in terms of the California child support calculation, her number is probably closer to what it should be. If you put that number, and without having seen the filings, my guess is they put incomes or general incomes into the child support calculator, and that's how that $250,000 calculation came out. So Mr. Costner may be offering this up. This may be some sort of agreement around $38,000. I don't know where their number came from, but my guess is that he's either going to pay a large lump sum or significantly more than $38,000 per month. Now, into our last story today. Matt Araiza, former San Diego State punter and former Buffalo Bill draftee. It's been almost a year since allegations broke that Mr. Araiza was involved in a gang rape on the campus of San Diego State University. at the time 17-year-old woman alleged Ariza and a few teammates had violently raped her. Now, Dan Gillian, the accuser's attorney, has been in the news, has been in the media, has been bashing Ariza for nearly a year now. And some interesting developments, interesting news has come out over the past few weeks. Most notably, the San Diego Police Department, which Gillian has attacked over and over again, have come out and said that their evidence showed that Ariza was not even present at the home when the alleged sexual incident occurred. So he couldn't have been involved in that moment. Now, Gillian on HBO, backpedaling faster than the defensive back in the NFL, is now saying, well, he was still involved in the gang rape because he had a sexual interaction with this individual earlier in the night. So their case appears to be falling apart. And because Gillian didn't even go out and defend that Ariza was not present at the home when the alleged incident occurred. So I think that there very well could be some problems for Gillian moving forward as an attorney, and it appears that the case against Ariza, the criminal case is gone. They declined to prosecute. The civil case appears to be falling apart in front of them. So it'll be interesting to see the news. Some people reported that 2 XFL teams have actually offered Ariza to come in and be their punter next year. It'll be interesting to see whether the Buffalo Bills or any other team steps up and makes an offer to Ariza on the eve of training camp. He was one of the top punting prospects to come out in the past decade and was cut during training camp when these allegations broke. So I hope for Matt, I hope for everybody involved, the truth comes out. It appears that he, at this point with what we have, is there's little or no wrongdoing, or at least not wrongdoing of what was alleged. So I hope he does get that opportunity he deserves in the NFL. So that's all we have today. As always, on Wednesday, we are going to be dropping our 3 questions podcast episode. And so go ahead in the comments, message us, let us know the questions you want answered so myself and our team of attorneys here at Real Fathers Rights can answer your legal questions. We'll talk to you guys next time.